in there as an example. Or she likes the plants, that we have certain ones in the apartment, etc. In other words, she was saying that what was automatically the context that stood in her mind was a series of concretes bound together by a positive emotion. And therefore, life to her was important because it invoked a certain feeling of the things she liked. Therefore, to her, when she heard the word life, that constellation was present right away. And from that perspective, the idea of life equals self-sustaining action just simply baffled her. So this is from another dimension. She cannot grasp what the guy is talking about. Now, I think that is a very, very helpful because it points out that emotion can function and should function as a crucial psychoepistemological agent, as a crucial means of keeping you in contact with reality. Not yet. Give you a chance. And therefore, it is not an accident that the people who are inclined to floating definitions, in my experience, are typically characterized by a pronounced psychology of repression. They are very much on the premise of shunting aside emotion. Their emotions are unreliable, they're bad, they're subjective, they have nothing to do with anything. They feel uncomfortable with them, whatever. They automatize a detachment from their emotional life. And consequently, they have cut off the mechanism that the mind provides to keep us in that kind of immediate, automatic psychoepistemological contact with the concretes of reality, and they end up manipulating terms. The same thing could be done in one way or another, whether it's positive or negative emotions, I think, with virtually any concept. For instance, if value, if you don't think, if you just think that which one acts to gain anarchy, then of course you're lost in the clouds. But if you think your wife, money, your house, clothes, etc., if those are the things you like, that's what you have emotion for, then value will immediately convey those concretes to you if you have the feeling and let it function, and you will have an invaluable tie to the details, to the concretes that you otherwise won't have. I think that this is perhaps the significant reason as to why, at least in my experience, remember I indicated there's a sort of a sexual tendency here, why, to some extent, women are, let's put it this way, seldom rationalistic. Because culturally they're expected to be emotional. They keep a certain grip on their emotions. I don't mean grip. They keep them alive to a certain extent in a way in which males, particularly male intellectuals, are usually quite repressed. And that ties in very well with being rationalistic. The emotion having been cut out, they cling to the phrase, the definition. Now, this is the beginning only of a long discussion of the role of emotions in thought and life. But I hope I shock you to the extent of coming out in favor of emotions rather than against them. I hope you also see that I am not saying all cognition is driven by passion, that objectivity is impossible or any such thing, although undoubtedly there are people who think that is about to come. Emotions, I'm saying, are not the means of justifying your conclusion. That would be mysticism or subjectivism. But they are essential to automatize the process of concretization. In other words, to automatize the tie to reality of your concepts. Now, we're going to be developing this subsequently. But I simply want to stress here, emotions are essential to philosophic understanding.